welcome back to my channel. I'm Amber. Today, I'm talking about Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. That's right, I finished my reread of Harry Potter. I enjoyed this a lot. I had a lot of moments where I was laughing. I had a few moments where I cried, and I had a lot of moments where I couldn't stop reading. The traveling, wandering around the country that Harry, Ron, and Hermione do didn't feel as drawn out this time. But maybe that's just because I knew what was happening and how to go from one event to the next. But I don't really have like one or two things I want to talk about. Well, I kind of do, but I really want to just go through my tabs and kind of just talk about them as they come up. Hermione, we get so much from Hermione in this book. She has to deal with Harry and Ron's stupidity so much. She has to sit them down and say, no, you listen to me. You need to think this through. You need to be rational. When Harry and Ron are just not being rational, when they're trying to fit, the Hallows in, when they're trying to just be idiots. Anyway, Hermione has to make sure that Harry understands that she is making sacrifices too. Like, she modified her parents' memory so that they don't even know she exists anymore. She sent them to another continent so that they'd be safe. She has to deal with Ron leaving. She has to deal with being tortured by Bellatrix. She has to deal with the totally stupid connection she has with Ron. Like, her and Ron as a love interest, while it flows better in this book, I still just don't like it. I still don't think it has a place, honestly. But what do I know? Let's move on. Let's see what else I wanted to talk about. Poor Draco. He's caught up in everything. I feel sorry for Draco. While I don't really give a shit about Lucius, and Narcissa is kind of like that cold, like, I don't know what to call her. I mean, she has to have some sort of like saving face so that, she can protect herself and her family. But I can say this about the Malfoys. They do love each other, and they do have a good relationship. Like, you do see in some of the previous books that Draco and his father do have a good relationship. He and his mother do have a good relationship. They do love each other. And that counts for something, even though their behavior is despicable and their beliefs around purebloods are despicable. There is some goodness in them, and I do feel sorry for Draco, and he's caught up in this terror of, oh, my family has fallen out of favor with Voldemort. He could just kill us like that, and that's hard. That's hard. Going back to Hermione Hermione calls out Ron and Harry a lot in this book, which I like a lot, because Harry and Ron have to be accountable for their actions. They have to be accountable for what they're saying and what they're doing. At one point, towards the beginning, Hermione is getting on Harry about occlumency, and he goes, oh, I was never any good at that. And she goes, well, you never tried, did you? She said, you never really tried, she said hotly. I don't get it, Harry. Do you like having this special connection? And that's something that Harry needs to think about. And he does admit at one point that he does value that connection. He does think that there is something there. But what does Hermione know, right? We learn a lot about Albus Dumbledore in this. We learn a lot about him. We learn a lot about his life. We learn a lot about how he operates. And Harry gets angry at Albus Dumbledore, understandably so. And he says, look what he asked from me, Hermione. Risk your life, Harry, and again, and again. And don't expect me to explain everything. Just trust me blindly. Trust that I know what I'm doing. Trust me even though I don't trust you. Never the whole truth. Never. And yeah, he's angry about that. understandably so. And you know, Hermione says, but he loved you. You know he loved you. And he says, this isn't love, the mess he's left me in. Like, yeah, I would agree with that assessment. Let's see, let's move on. Oh, when Ron shows back up and Hermione just like, you think she's gonna run into his arms and kiss him, and she just starts punching him. And he's like, oh, get off me, Hermione. And she goes, how dare you show up after weeks and weeks and just expect me to forgive you? Like, you go, Hermione. You go, girl. Let's see what else I can go to. Oh yeah, I've got to tell ya. Luna and Neville are just, you know how Harry, Ron, and Hermione are like the golden trio or whatever, and then you have Luna, Neville, and Ginny, who are this like secondary trio. I much prefer Neville, Luna, and Ginny. Like, Neville and Luna are like my two favorite characters, besides Dobby. I love the side characters so much. And I love that in this, you learn so much about Luna, about her kindness, about her courtesy. And even though she's odd, she has this loyalty to her friends, and she has this compassion and this tenderness and this thoughtfulness that you don't expect from Harry. Can I say that? I'm gonna say that. I might disagree with myself later, but for right now, I agree with that statement.
Hello, editing Amber here. So I think what I was trying to say is I consistently expect Luna to be kind and compassionate and thoughtful, whereas with Harry, I don't get that all the time. Sometimes he can be vindictive, sometimes he can be really irrational, sometimes he can be very thoughtless and impulsive. And I think what I was trying to get at in this moment is I love Luna for her consistency. Like, this is just who she is. Whereas Harry, I think, I don't want to say he's more complex, but he has a lot more emotionally and, like, physically, event-wise going on that he has to focus on. So yeah, I think that's what I was trying to say. Back to me in the past.
But anyway, Luna has painted Harry, Ron, Hermione, Ginny, and Neville's portraits on her bedroom ceiling, and she's encircled these portraits with the word friends over and over and over. And it's just a beautiful, tender look into her, into who she is. And I found that very, very beautiful, very touching. Let's see what else I want to say. Oh, Dobby's death. I cried. I always cry at Dobby's death. Dobby is a fantastic character. It breaks my heart, and it makes me so sad. And Harry taking the time to dig a grave non-magically, and carve a headstone, and just be so careful and so tender. And they say a few words over Dobby's grave. And Luna, I love that Luna is the one who says exactly what needs to be said. It's such a thoughtful thing. So thank you so much, Dobby, for rescuing me from that cellar. It's so unfair that you had to die when you were so good and brave. I'll always remember what you did for us. I hope you're happy now. And it's not that sarcastic, I hope you're happy now, but it's just such a tender, like, I hope you've found peace. I hope you're happy now. Like, I hope that, you're not being tormented anymore. And I just, yeah. Luna in this moment, just, it makes me love her so much more. And then we have this moment, it's like a few pages later. Let's see if I can open up to it. Hold on. Harry looked out the window at Dobby's grave. Luna was arranging sea lavender in a jam jar beside the headstone. Like, it's such a thoughtful, tender thing to do, and it's such a loving action that she's putting flowers on Dobby's grave, and I just love Luna. Like, I love her even more. Like, with each tiny little blossom, each nugget we get about her, she's such a good person. She's such a good character.
Hello, it's me again. Be warned that, like, from now on, I just kind of fangirl over certain moments and certain people. And I know that in this video I'm not the most articulate, but I maybe get less articulate in this last little bit, so my apologies in advance. Have fun with that.
Let's move on to the Battle of Hogwarts. I love this Filch. Students out of bed! Students in the corridors! They're supposed to be, you blithering idiot, shouted McGonagall. Now go and do something constructive. Find Peeves. Like, McGonagall. Oh, McGonagall. McGonagall's like one of my all-time favorites. Oh man, she's just the best. Blithering idiot. Like, nobody likes Filch. Like, come on. Where's this other point? Let me go to this. I go to this. When the castle's under there to attack, and Harry, Ron, and Hermione jump out of the way of galloping desks thundering past, shepherded by a sprinting Professor McGonagall. She appeared not to notice them. Her hair had come down. There was a gash on her cheek. As she turned the corner, they heard her scream, "Charge!" Like, McGonagall. McGonagall is... there are so many avenues of loyalty in this book, especially with McGonagall and with Harry and with Luna and with Dobby, and just the amounts of loyalty and the ways that they express their loyalty is just beautiful. Beautiful. Love it. Can we talk about Neville's Gran for a moment? Okay, this lady who is like supposed to be like a menace and a terror to Neville and whatever. And she's actually like super cool. Like, she goes like, so the Death Eaters realize we can't control Neville, so let's see if we can get his Gran to make him behave. And his Gran just like goes on the run. Like, oh man, it's so funny. It's just the best. And she asks, and this is when they've all congregated in the room of requirement to join the battle. She says, "Have you seen my grandson? He's fighting." And she says, "Naturally. Excuse me, I must go and assist him." Like, that just makes me so incredibly happy. Just like to have his Gran, so infinitely proud of him. Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh, loved that moment. Let's see what else we can... Oh, Fred's death. I don't want to talk about Fred's death. That's just sad. We don't want to go there. We talked about the charge. I love this. Let's talk about Draco again for a moment. I'm Draco Malfoy. I'm Draco. I'm on your side. And then, you know, they save him. Ron, Hermione, and Harry save him. And Ron punched him from under the cloak. And that's the second time we've saved your life tonight, you two-faced bastard. Like, oh my gosh. Like, Draco, God bless him. He's just a mess. But, like, Ron's just like, I'm done with you. Like, get out of here. Get somewhere safe. Like, I'm done with you. Punches him. I love it.
Hello. So on the flip side of just being incredibly hilarious that Ron punches Draco, which I'm sure he's been wanting to do for like the last 6 books, it's interesting that not only did Harry insist on saving Draco and the unconscious Goyle from the fiend fire in the room of requirement earlier, but they're also saving him again from his own, like, side, his own people. And it goes to show that at this point, Harry's not even thinking about it. Does he still hate Draco? Oh, I 100% think that he absolutely detests Draco still. But he recognizes, I think, from seeing Draco so terrified and so threatened and just so uncomfortable with where he is in helping and not wanting to help Voldemort, torture people. I think he's realized just how pathetic and how much of a mess Draco is, and he's willing to set aside his detesting Draco to help him. And I think that's really honorable. I think that is Harry's sense of justice and his sense of right and wrong in this moment are just very, very honorable. And he's very much a Gryffindor. Very much a Gryffindor. Yeah, okay, cool, thanks.
Let's talk about Bellatrix Lestrange's death. Okay, Bellatrix Lestrange, fantastic character, terrible character, but she's fascinating. You see the kind of obsession, the kind of fanatical, maniacal obsession she has. And the reason she's doing things. But her portrayal, I think what I'm thinking about when I say fantastic character is Helena Bonham Carter's portrayal of Beatrix Lestrange is fantastic. The character's terrible. Absolutely terrible. She's almost a caricature of ultra right-wing, like Nazi type thinking. And then the portrayal of Bellatrix in the movies is fantastically done. It's disturbing, and that's what it's supposed to be. But in this final battle with her, Mrs. Weasley, Harry's charging in thinking he's gonna help. Mrs. Weasley just shoves him aside, not knowing he's there, and it is like, not my daughter, you bitch! And it's just like, I love Mrs. Weasley, like Molly Weasley, like mama figure, like complete like mama bear, out of my way, let me fight this woman, she's mine. You will never touch our children again. And then she casts the curse. And it goes under Bellatrix's arm and hits her in the chest. Or I guess, whichever arm she's using, it hits her and she keels over dead. And it's a glorious moment. It's a glorious moment. And I think it's interesting. I was talking to my husband about this. It's interesting that throughout the entire scene, it's Mrs. Weasley threw off her cloak. Mrs. Weasley shouted. Mrs. Weasley did this. Mrs. Weasley did... But as soon as it comes to her curse, it's Molly's curse. Soared beneath Bellatrix's outstretched arm and hit her squarely in the chest, directly over the heart. It's Molly's curse. It's not Mrs. Weasley's curse. It's Molly's curse. They switch over to this first name basis thinking. And I think that's so interesting. And I don't know if that's a slip up and it's not meant to be that or what it means. But it threw me through a loop that I realized that. It's just interesting. And then the last thing I want to just touch upon is Harry finds himself sitting beside Luna, and Luna's like, "You're tired, aren't you?" He goes, "Yeah." And she goes, "I'll distract them. You get under your cloak and run." And she's like, "Hey, everybody!" And it's just her selflessness and her loyalty and her thoughtfulness. Just, oh man, it's perfect. Yeah, Neville finally is just given respect and love, and I skipped the epilogue, and I don't know, that's all I have to say about the book. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Overall, fantastic series. Harry Potter, I think the hype around Harry Potter is real, and I think that it does have some merit and some valid, it's valid, and I think there's a reason that it's universally loved. And yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I love Neville. I love Luna. Ron and Harry, they're good people, but they're not. Because they can be, you know, because Ron can say some really mean things. And Harry can be really irrational and thoughtless. But I love the displays of loyalty. I love the displays of, you know, at what point do you become an adult? At what point do you get treated like an adult? At what point, because you're involved in this adult war, do you have to take on adult responsibilities? Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. I loved it. Hagrid is still one of my favorite characters as well. Just putting that out there. Yeah, thanks for listening, and I will eventually make another video. I don't know what it will be yet, but I will see you then. Bye.